Hi students, today we are going to learn about gas exchange. Let's see first what is gas exchange. The lungs take oxygen from the air we breathe. They also excrete carbon dioxide into the air which is produced during respiration. We know that we all breathe. We breathe air. It is mixture of gas. So when we breathe air, from that we need only oxygen. That lungs take it. They also excrete carbon dioxide. During taking in oxygen, they excrete carbon dioxide also into the air which is produced during respiration. When we learned about respiration, we learned that there are two types of respiration, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen. We get carbon dioxide and water. That carbon dioxide is breathing out. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Okay. That process is called gas exchange. What is that? The lungs take oxygen from the air we breathe. Yes, we breathe air. From that, lungs takes only oxygen. They also excrete. They also excrete what? Carbon dioxide into the air. We breathe out carbon dioxide. How that carbon dioxide is produced in the body? During respiration, that is aerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, the end product of that is carbon dioxide, water and energy. Energy, body keeps energy with it, and then the carbon dioxide and water breathe out. This whole process is called gas exchange. Let's learn how gas exchange takes place in alveolus. This is alveolus. Okay, this is alveolus. Now we learned that in the lungs there are number of alveolus, and these alveolus are covered with a network of capillaries. Network of capillaries. This is capillary. These capillaries are from pulmonary artery. In the circulatory system, we learned that arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. That means pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood. Now here you can see this. These are blood cells, RBC. Okay, here I have shown only RBC. In the blood there are RBC, WBC and platelets. Here I have shown only RBC for this gas exchange purpose. Okay, we are learning about gas exchange. So I have shown only here RBC. Now this RBCs are, this blood is coming from pulmonary artery. Blood is coming from pulmonary artery, and that too it came to the capillary. Now this is capillary, not the artery. This is capillary. Okay. Now this blood is coming from the pulmonary artery into the capillary. That is deoxygenated. This blood is deoxygenated, and it becomes oxygenate and goes to the pulmonary vein. All the veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. That means pulmonary vein carry oxygenated blood. Now we need to recollect a little bit from the lesson cell, digestive system. Okay, those things we have to include in this. We have to remember those things, and then only we understand this gas exchange. Our body is made up of cells. We already learned that our body is made up of cells. So these cells needs to survive. These cells needs to survive. For that they need energy. Now comes to the digestive system. After the digestion of food, the nutrients absorbed in the small intestine and get into bloodstream. Now imagine that nutrients came to the bloodstream. Okay. Now it is going to the cell. We learned cell lesson. In that we learned that the cells needs to survive. They need energy for their survival. Okay, that is there. And now digestive system is connecting here. After the digestion of food, the nutrients absorbed in the small intestine and got into the bloodstream. That means nutrients are here in the bloodstream. Okay, that is one is glucose. This glucose needs to convert or break down with the help of oxygen, and then we get energy. So now came to the respiratory system. Okay, we need oxygen. So we already took breath. Okay, imagine all these things. We all are breathing every now and every moment. We are breathing. We are breathing in and out. We took breath, that is mixture of air. In that mixture of air, from that mixture of air, our lungs takes only oxygen. Okay, remember that the respiratory system, nose, then comes pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and then comes in the lungs, alveoli. Okay, alveoli, there are many number of alveoli or alveolus. Singular is alveolus. So number of alveolus are there in the lungs. Once this oxygen enters into the alveolus, it goes to the walls of the alveolus. You know, walls of the alveolus are very thin and elastic. We learned that. Okay, through that it diffuses diffuses into the blood. In the blood there is RBC. In the RBC there is hemoglobin. Okay, so here this oxygen mixed with or get into the cell. Okay, RBC, and in the RBC there is hemoglobin. This oxygen mixes with or combined with this hemoglobin and goes to the enter into the cell. Okay, here there are cells. In the cells it gets into the, and that is how oxygen reaches to the cells. And now at the same time carbon dioxide is there in the cell after the respiration. Okay, now there are two respiration. We learned that aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. After the aerobic respiration, the end product is, we got that energy, carbon dioxide and water, and this carbon dioxide and water diffuses into the capillary. Okay, it gets into the capillary. Inside the capillary there are RBC. Okay, RBC, hemoglobin, all these are there. Okay, and then it escape. Actually, it is escaping from the cell to the alveolus, from the cell to the capillary, and from the capillary to the alveolus, and then when we breathe out, it goes out. Once again, okay, this is alveolus. Okay, the alveolus are covered with a network of capillary. This capillary is coming from pulmonary artery and it goes to the pulmonary vein. Okay. Now, arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. This we learned in the circulatory system. Now we have to recollect all those things what we studied. We studied about the lesson cell, okay? Cell we studied, digestive system we studied, and now we are learning respiratory system, okay? We have to recollect whatever we have learned. We have, our human body is made up of cells, right? These cells needs to survive. For that they need energy. This energy comes from the glucose. That glucose has to break down with the help of oxygen, right? So this oxygen, how we get? We breathe mixed air. Mixed air we breathe. From that our lungs takes oxygen. That oxygen is coming to the, in the lungs there are number of alveolus, and that comes to the, oxygen comes to the alveolus. Alveolus membrane is very thin. They are elastic and very thin. Through that it diffuses, oxygen diffuses, get into the blood. In the RBC, okay, in the RBC there is hemoglobin. This oxygen combined with this hemoglobin in the RBC, and then it get into the cell or body cells. That is how our body cells get oxygen. And then these cells, again this oxygen, with the help of oxygen, in the cell already there glucose, which is after the digestion of food, and that breakdown, the glucose breakdown with the help of oxygen, and again we get the end product of this breakdown of glucose is carbon dioxide, water and energy. This carbon dioxide, okay, after the aerobic respiration, the end product, that is carbon dioxide and water, or energy, the cells save it in the form of ATP, and then carbon dioxide and water get back to the blood, okay? Through this alveoli it escapes, carbon dioxide and water escapes, and then when we breathe out, this goes out. This is what happens. This is how gas exchange takes place in the alveolus. Let's see breathing mechanism. This is our lungs. Okay. Air from the trachea. Bronchus is entered. Bronchus, bronchioles. Okay. Bronchioles, then. Okay. This is lungs. And then we have here a rib cage. Okay. Front of the lungs there is rib cage. Behind their backbone. Okay, this is our backbone. Now this is diaphragm. And diaphragm. Now let's see. While breathing, or when we breathe, our intercostal muscles contract. Intercostal muscles contract. While intercostal muscles contract, our ribs lift upward. This ribs lift upward. That means chest cavity increases. Okay, this ribs lift upward. Okay, intercostal muscles contract and ribs lift upward. Okay, that is the first thing. Second one, diaphragm muscles contract. Diaphragm muscles contract and then it gets flattens. Diaphragm gets flattens. Okay, second change. Then third, increases the volume of thoracic cavity. Okay, when ribs lift upward, thoracic cavity increase, or the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. You can see here it increases. Okay, that is third form. Then fourth one. Now inside the thoracic cavity or inside the lungs, you should say, pressure, air pressure is reduced. Air pressure reduces in the lungs. Okay, in the lungs. And then atmospheric pressure, outside pressure, atmospheric pressure will increase. Here in the lungs, pressure, air pressure is less. So, the air get into where the less pressure, okay, less air pressure. The outside pressure is more, so air enters into the lungs. That is what happens while breathing. Once again, while breathing, intercostal muscles contract and the rib cage, the ribs lift upwards. Okay. Due to that, the thoracic cavity increases. Diaphragm's muscles get contract and it becomes flattened. Inside the lungs, air pressure is less. Outside, atmospheric pressure is more. So, the air get into the lungs. That is how air get into the lungs. We saw while breathing in how the mechanism. Now while breathing out, what happens? What is the mechanism of breathing out? The intercostal muscles relax. Intercostal muscles relax. Okay, now here this is the thoracic cavity. You can see here. Okay, now here this is backbone and this is rib cage here. Okay. While breathing out, intercostal muscles relax and ribs drops downwards and inwards. Ribs drops downwards and inwards. Okay, so the volume reduces. Okay, thoracic cavity volume reduces and the air pressure increases inside. Air pressure increase inside. Okay, atmospheric pressure reduces. And diaphragm muscles relax and return to its resting position. Okay, so here volume is less, air pressure is more, atmospheric pressure is less. So from here air pushes out. That is how we breathe out. Once again, when we breathe out, intercostal muscles relax. Due to that, ribs drops downwards and inwards. So the volume reduces. Air pressure increase in the lungs, whereas atmospheric pressure is less. Diaphragm flattens. Okay, diaphragm muscles relax. Sorry, not flattens. Diaphragm muscles relax and diaphragm returns to its resting position. Not flattening in breathing in, during breathing in. Okay. Here breathing out. While breathing out, diaphragm relaxes and returns to its resting position. Okay. Volume is reduced, Here volume is less here, so pressure increases, outside pressure is less, so air goes out. That is what happens. Okay, this is backbone and here rib cage. Okay, while breathing out, intercostal muscles relax, ribs drops downwards and inwards, so the volume reduces and pressure increase inside and air comes out. That is called breathing out. That is what exactly happens during breathing out. Breathing in and out, this is keep going on. Okay, so there is no only breathing in for some time and then breathing out for some time. It's not like that. At a time it is going on. So this is what happens during breathing in and out, we learned. Okay, let's see the difference between inhalation and exhalation. Number 1, intercostal muscles contract, lifting the ribs upwards and outwards. When we inhale, intercostal muscles contract. Due to that, the ribs lift upwards and outwards. In exhalation or during exhalation, intercostal muscles relax, that let the ribs drop downwards and inwards. So here the intercostal muscles contract, lifting the ribs upward and outward. Okay, whereas in exhalation, intercostal muscles relax and ribs drops downwards and inwards. Second, diaphragm contracts and flattens. During inhalation, diaphragm contracts and flattens. During exhalation, diaphragm relax and pushed back to the resting position. During inhalation, increase the volume in the thoracic cavity. The volume of thoracic cavity increases during inhalation. Decreases the volume of thoracic cavity. Volume of thoracic cavity decreases during exhalation. The oxygen-rich air moves inside the lungs through the nostrils. And this air is moisture. Okay, moisture, oxygen passes through the nostrils to the lungs. Okay, oxygen-rich air, moisture, and then send it to the lungs. Here, during exhalation, carbon dioxide-rich air moves outside through the nostrils. This also moisture. Why? Because after aerobic respiration, the water and carbon dioxide is there. That water and carbon dioxide we are exhaling. So this air also, this carbon dioxide also moisture. Let's see what is our lung capacity. Total volume of lungs when it is fully inflated, 5 liters in adult. Okay. Then normal exchange, when we are sleeping or when we are taking rest, normally we exchange 500 ml of air. Okay. Or you can say half liter. When we are doing exercise, when we do any kind of exercise, extra 3 liters we exchange. Okay. Normally 500 ml. Other than this 500 ml, another 3 liters we use. Extra we exchange. That means total 3.5 liter or 3500 ml of air. Then I already said here we have our capacity is 5 liters. Then where 1.5 liters? It is always there in the lungs, which we don't expel. Okay, fully. That is called residual volume, always remaining in the lungs. That is called residual volume, that is 1.5 liters, which we don't expel. So that our lungs get sufficient time to get oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, oxygen to breathe in and breathe out the carbon dioxide, we get time, and that is why our body will not lack oxygen. Okay, so always keep this much of air in the lungs, 1.5 liters of air in the lungs. Let's see the breathing rate. Normal rate is 16 times per minute. When we are sleeping, when we are not doing any kind of activity, our normal rate of breathing is 16 times per minute. When we do any kind of exercise or any extra activity, when we do, a breathing rate will increase 20 to 30 times per minute. During this time, a lot of carbon dioxide is released. Why? Because we breathe faster, and deep breath we take. So much of oxygen is we get in our lungs, and then at the same time when we are breathing faster. We have to breathe faster, and we have to take deep breathing. Okay, deep breathing we have to do, so the carbon dioxide will go out, because a lot of carbon dioxide is released in the body while doing exercise. Okay, oxygen as well as we breathe oxygen, we breathe in, and carbon dioxide we breathe out. During exercise, lot of carbon dioxide is released in the body. We already learned all those things, and I don't want to repeat again that. Okay, so this is the rate of breathing. Normally 16 times per minute. When we do exercise, 20 to 30 times per minute. Both the times we have to do breathing in and out. We have to do faster and deeper during exercise. Hope you can see this. Our lungs, bronchi, bronchioles, then alveoli, alveolus, capillary, gas exchange. All this you can see very clearly. Hope you understood the gas exchange. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon to stay tuned.